Hello, my name is Michael Helmers. I'm a sophomore at NDSU pursuing a degree in computer engineering. I was born and raised in Mandan, North Dakota, where I'm the youngest in the family with an older brother and sister. I live here on campus and I'm here to tell you a little about myself and what I plan to do in the future. You may be wondering why I chose computer engineering. Well, it all stems from my love of computers. When I was younger, I was fascinated with computers. I always wondered what made them tick. So, as I grew up, my fascination continued to grow as newer and faster machines came out. Finally, one day I took one apart and looked at the mess I'd made and said, well, what do I do now? From then on, I started to learn more about computers and how the mess of wires and pieces fit together to make the machinery that ran my favorite video games, such as Backyard Baseball and The Sims. As I figured out, it wasn't the physical pieces that made it possible for me to play those games. It was the software that I was seeing on the screen, and it was software that was the next leg of my journey. Throughout high school, I was determined to learn to code, but we never had any classes. So, as a resourceful kid who grew up with computers, I Googled it. I was definitely not prepared for what hit me. There were different languages and different programs, and it was all just a little too overwhelming to learn by myself. But I got lucky. In my senior year of high school, we were finally offered a chance to take an online course in programming. This was my first big step into the world of programming, and I loved it. As a kid with a love for computers, I was inspired more by the prospect of making these machines come to life. This is one of my goals, to make a machine come to life and interact with society. Imagine a world in which you could interact with a machine and it would actually understand you on a deeper level, more than just a few keystrokes or mouse clicks. I want to study artificial intelligence and try to make this a tangible realization for more than just researchers and the obscure groups of people interested. I think a world in which we can intelligently interact with our machines will be the next big revolution in human-computer relationships. And who's to say that the next big step isn't to make our machines come to life? Even though true artificial intelligence is not yet feasible, there is another field of research that I plan to study that is already becoming an integral part of human-computer relationships. I'm talking about brain-computer interfacing. This is where a computer is controlled by the electrical impulses in our brain. Where is this already a part of society? Well, how do you think that modern prosthetics are controlled? I would like to take this a step farther and make it so that we can control everyday computers with our thoughts. What I do in my free time is a little less revolutionary. I like to play sports and be active outside. In high school, I played hockey and soccer, and I still play these sports, just not competitively. I also like to snowboard and play football, basically anything to get me outdoors. But being from North Dakota, it isn't always possible, like when it's 20 below. So I found that playing video games with friends is also a great way to pass the time and relax. Well, it's been fun, and I hope you've learned a little bit about me and what I plan to do. So, in the future, if you ever see something like what I've talked about, maybe I had a hand in making it.